What happened at Michigan State this year, Devin? Walk me through everything that led to you stomping on the Spartan logo on the field. What in the world happened in East Lansing?
It was just like, obviously it was a rivalry. So, I mean, it was already kind of a lot of tension there. And, they just came and they locked arms across the whole field. And, I'm out there warming up. A couple other guys out there warming up. And we got our headphones on. We're not really aware of what's going on. But, soon enough, we look back and, there's the whole Michigan State team, and they're walking through the whole field with their arms locked. And, it was just like the matter of disrespect to the team. They just tried to walk through our whole warm-up, walk through the whole field and keep their arms locked. They never made a way for us to get through their little line or whatever they do. So, I mean, that's kind of what ticked everything off. And then they went to the far side of the field, broke down the huddle, came back and ran through our warm-up again, bumping and talking. So that's where that whole thing came up. So it was just almost like a disrespectful thing, and that's how I took it. So, I wasn't trying to go out there and fight before the game because that's, I wouldn't be able to play. I probably could be suspended or whatever. So the next best thing in my eyes was to go scratch up their logo.
You did scratch it up. They had it spray painted and everything. And, we're watching right now. You needn't be held back and all that. Did you see, was the coach of Michigan State, was D'Antonio smiling?
I seen him for a split moment. And then after that, he kind of vanished. But I did see him out there, though.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to relitigate this. Well, actually, I do want to relitigate this. I do. I wouldn't mind doing all of that. Were you asked about this at the Combine, that moment at all? Was that brought up to you?
Yeah, I was probably asked 4 times.
And what do you think they were trying to determine from you? If you were a hothead or something like that? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess everybody really wants to know. I think that's what it really was. It was like, yeah, maybe we want to see if he's a hothead, but we just want to know the story behind it because, we never seen anything like that before. I guess they wanted just to figure out what really happened in my eyes.
So you just went through. Did we just recreate the Combine right there, or what did you tell people?
That was pretty much the same answer I gave out all 4 times.
Okay. What's the strangest question you got asked at the Combine?
Yeah, so I walked into a room and there's like, oh, here's our sports psychologist. He wants to ask you a few questions. So I'm like, all right. So the guy's like, yeah, look at me the whole time. I'm like, all right, I will. So then he's asking me questions, just simple questions. Then he goes to probably the 5th question. He's like, so, how long can you hold your eyes open? I'm like, my eyes open? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I never really timed myself doing that. So he's like, oh, looks like you kind of don't want to do it. I'm like, I ain't never showed that, but all right. He's like, you want to try it? I'm like, yeah. So he brought out his phone. He was like, you ready? I'm like, all right, I'm ready. So he's like, ready, set, go. So I keep my eyes open. The whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, why am I holding my eyes open in a football meeting? Like, we're supposed to be looking at football. We're over here staring at me, keeping my eyes open. So I'm like, all right. So I just kind of let it go out, and I blinked. And then I'm like, dang, I tried. And he was like, oh, that wasn't so good. I'm like, oh, how long was it? He's like, oh, it was 9 seconds. I'm like, oh, all right. He's like, well, you want to try again? I'm like, nah, I don't. He was like, oh, okay, why not? I'm like, my eyes are burning. I don't know if I can go any longer than that. He was like, okay. And he wrote something down on this little board. I'm like, all right, whatever.
So you had a staring contest too. We heard about that. Who else had the staring contest? They said Seattle did that. Was this Seattle that did this with you?
Yep, it was Seattle.
Wow. Huh. Okay. We'll see if Seattle's on the clock. If Seattle's on the clock, they'll take you. We'll see how that goes if you're 21st overall. But all the mock drafts I see are your top 20. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing all over the place. I'm hearing top 20, top 15, top 10, late first round. So I'm hearing all types of things, and based off of like the free agency, stuff that happened these past couple of days, I just feel like the draft is going to be super interesting this year. I think it's going to be a lot of wows, a lot of like head turns, and a lot of questions. But I think I'm ready to see how the draft is going to play out, because I think it's going to be an interesting year this year, with being a lot of defensive players too. So it's going to be real cool to see.
Yeah, I agree.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.